While the Japanese had built their fast train and tracks entirely from scratch, the American project was merely a new train on existing tracks, on infrastructure that was, in many spots, already a century old in the 1960s. The newest infrastructure on the line was the pioneering electric catenary system, but even then, the prototypical wires from the 1930s had not been designed for speeds higher than 120 miles per hour, and pantographs would bounce and lose contact during test runs. But these weren't the only problems engineers found when they tried to force higher speeds on a line not designed for it. Using multiple units meant placing electrical equipment below the passenger compartment instead of higher up in a locomotive. This created problems in the winter, when loose snow could clog the air vents, causing trains to overheat and stall, particularly in the tight tunnels where air circulation was already a known issue. Older trains sometimes had their windows torn out by aerodynamic forces as the new fast trains zoomed past, both because the old trains were, well, old, but also because the tracks were spaced too close together, creating powerful suction forces at the higher speeds. In the end, though the new trains did successfully reach speeds of 164 miles per hour in test runs, in revenue service, speeds were limited first to the Pennsylvania Railroad's preference of 120 miles per hour, then 110, and finally just 100 miles per hour, as technical issues persisted. These issues were difficult to solve for many reasons, partly because the trains relied on technologies that were new, but also because the infrastructure was old. From the very beginning of the government's involvement, they were already making the same mistake that Northeast Corridor managers continue to make to this day, which is they were investing more into the trains than they were into the tracks. Upgrading hundreds of miles of electric catenary is not cheap, and it is very tempting to assume one can simply purchase train sets that take the rough and unmaintained infrastructure into account. The latest generation of high-speed trains in the USA, the Avelia Liberty, built by Alstom, suffered from a similar design philosophy and encountered the same issues in the early 2020s, when newly completed train sets sat idle for years before a fix could be determined, completely missing the presidency of Amtrak Joe Biden. One of the main problems for the next-gen Acela was that, exactly like the high-speed EMUs of the 1960s, the pantographs of the new trains had difficulty maintaining contact with the same 1930s-era catenary wires at speeds far higher than the wires were designed for.